Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Zamasu. So we get another villain Zamasu card. This is the Zamasu that does battle with Super Saiyan 2 Goku. You know, kind of like before he meets up with Goku Black and blah, 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 blah. The aesthetic of this card is phenomenal. I think they did a really good job like with his intro and stuff like that. But this guy is just flat out not good enough for what he needs to do, right? Like, this character, it was crucial to help Fusion Zamasu and to help villain cards that this guy be better. And I just don't really... I would not say I'm too impressed by, I think, what the Zamasu is going to be able to do. Now, this character... Finally, we have a character where I think most would just agree to just pound full dodge on him. This guy literally is supporting, right, by dodging. So that's going to be pretty important. So I went just maximum dodge that I could get on this guy, which is 27. You know, just hoping that he is going to be able to dodge for us. That's what the Zamasu is going to be able to do. But unfortunately, they brought him into the game in such a way where I don't know that he'll even really be able to impact things as much as we would like. Because he has so much extra that he does against super class enemies. And right now, super class enemies are not the toughest fights in the game. Perhaps, what is the event called? The, is it Divine Wrath and Spirit of the Mortals or whatever it is? What is it? It's Divine Wrath and Mortal Will. There's a good chance we could end up with like a very nasty Vegito Blue fight at the end of that event, or like a Sword of Hope Trunks or something like that for sure, where like this Zamasu would be a king. That would be nice. But for right now, I mean, super class enemies are not really that tough. They've given us continued villains, strong villains, who a lot of what they do is locked against specific super class enemies. Super 17, Turles. This guy, I mean, you could sort of say LR Super Boo, sort of. He is a lot better. Well, I mean, but it's against Boo Saga and Fuse Fighter for him, but you get what I'm saying. So I don't know. Let me get Zamasu up to Link level 10. See, this is where, like, Mai could be okay, or she could have been shit, or whatever. I don't know that it would have really been that big of a deal. I mean, Mai is certainly helpful for some teams that could be helped, right? Like, she's on category teams that could use help. And I think Mai is pretty solid. Vegito Blue and Fusion Zamasu are great, of course. But this guy is the weakest of the summonable characters by a long shot. And it really sucks, because we just are in a position where Dokkan cannot afford to fumble villains because of the way these villain teams are set up. So that's what's very unfortunate there. Okay, let's go ahead and get this guy to Link level 10, and we'll test him out. Alright guys, we are here in an event. Let's go ahead and take a look at Physical Zamasu. So, again, I think that Physical Zamasu is probably going to be pretty unimpressive. In most of the real content that we want to do. I mean, I guess, no matter what, he is still a support, right? But the design they gave him, man, he just gets so much against superclass characters, right? So, number one, this guy does have an intro. I'm going to start kind of like with like sort of like a red zone viable team. We're in the Infinite Zamasu Dokkan event, so I can get some medals while we go ahead and see what he's like. But I brought kind of like a red zone, again, viable team. We'll just kind of see some of the numbers that Zamasu gets and stuff like that. But they're going to be pretty low, pretty unimpressive, unless we are actually like going against a superclass enemy, right? Now, if they give us fights against tough superclass enemies, I think this Zamasu should be pretty good. Let's see, super attack, he's getting 30% attack and defense, he does lower enemy attack, which is decent. His passive, so look at this. So, number one, he has an intro if there's a super class enemy. He gets 50% attack and defense and a 20% chance to dodge for the rest of the fight. Then, also, this is separate, but against a super class enemy, at the start of every turn, Zamasu gets 1 key up to a max of 4, and 50% attack and defense up to a max of 200%. So, I mean, I guess that one, the, you know, what is it, the Mortal Will and Divine God event, or whatever the hell it is. I mean, we're going to get more stages added to that. Perhaps with that event, Divine Wrath and Mortal Will, maybe there will be a ridiculously tough, like, you know, Vegito Blue or, like, Sword of Hope Trunks or something like that at the end of that event. I would say that's, like, very likely. So Zamasu will definitely be good in there, but, like, a lot of these typical red zone stages, probably not really so much, right? Then just what Zamasu's doing baseline. He gets 150% attack and defense. Then he gets 50% attack and defense and a 30% chance to dodge on super. That's relevant because that means he wouldn't have that activated right away against, say, Omega. You know, that doesn't work against those AoEs. And then he also gives extreme class allies 30% attack and defense, which is good. And then an extra 20% attack and defense and a 10% chance to crit for characters that are also Future Saga. So again, if we're using like extreme class Realm of Gods against a super class enemy, this Zamasu will be very good. But like that's what it needs, right? And then he gives Future Saga category allies 2 ki for 2 turns after dodging. So, alright, let's just see some of these numbers we'll get from Zamasu. So, Zamasu's link set here is Prodigies, Cold Judgment, Fear and Faith, Godly Power, Power Bestowed by God, Brutal Beatdown, and Fierce Battle. That is Physical Zamasu's link set. So, again, right here, he's going to have a 30% chance to dodge after supering. And then, of course, we do also have the 27 dodge build. So he's going to have a 30% chance, and then he's also going to have a 27% chance. 2.81 he gets up to. Okay. And remember, this Zamasu right here is essentially just from that one episode where Goku fights him in Super Saiyan 2. It does just go to show, like, it's such a small sequence. And they just made, like, a banner unit with, like, good-looking animations and an intro and stuff like that. Very, very fascinating. Alright, let's just go ahead and trash Fusion Zamasu here. Again, we'll get a couple of rotations just to sort of see some of the numbers that Physical Zamasu would have. Again, this is, like, a red zone viable team, as you guys could see. So, you know, we could sort of tell, I guess, kind of, like, what Physical Zamasu would look like. And then we'll just go into, like, the Legendary Vegeta event or something like that. Because we're going to need at least 4 turns for Zamasu to fully build up his stats, right? Of course, we got to play the intro as well. The one thing that's sick is I do think this Zamasu's intro is very good. Like his animations are good. I think both Physical Zamasu and the Mai, both of their animations are very solid. That's only Fear and Faith. So that link right there, the second one on the left that he gets with Goku Black and Zamasu, that's just Fear and Faith, which only gives ki and then lowers enemy defense, which is worthless, right? Lowering enemy defense does nothing. So, okay. Let's go ahead and let's do, oh, well, This is very interesting. Ki is a bit of an issue for him as well, huh? If we dodge, he does get the 2 ki. All right, well, whatever. I guess we have. This is good. This is good. We're showing another sort of like flaw with this character, is that even next to these characters, okay, he dodged, which means he's gonna give the 2 ki for 2 rotations, but like ki is a bit of an issue for him. That's a nice ability, that 2 ki for 2 turns after dodging. Like, that's fine. By the way, that dodge triggered because of our dodge build. Zamasu doesn't get the dodge chance until he supers. But, like, why not just give the ki at the start of turn? Like, extreme class allies, 30% attack and defense is nice, but, you know, we could give ki along with that. I don't agree with the decision to make it the way they did. Right, I'm just not really a fan. All right, we'll do one more rotation. This event, no BS, actually is going to be kind of decent for showcases sometimes, because this Infinite Zamasu cannot be killed, right? All we do, people hate this event, but this is 3 turns of just surviving against Infinite Zamasu. Eventually, I mean, I grind up over 200 Dokkan event medals for every Dokkan event. Eventually, I'm going to do that with this stage. I will be able to pick up a lot of weapon super attacks, potentially. grinding up the Dokkan medals from this stage. And I do plan on doing that, right? I'm gonna get 200 plus medals just in reserve, just in case for the future, but I'm gonna make sure to grind up enough medals to awaken, you know, LR Fusion Zamasu, TUR Fusion Zamasu, SSR Fusion Zamasu. Then I also need Physical Zamasu and his SSR, although I've already awakened both of them. Yeah, okay. So on this next rotation, we're gonna have, again, sort of like a decent rotation here. And then we're also going to be able to get some support from PHY, right? Like, PHY is so good that, like, you know, of course we're going to be able to bring her. By the way, Physical Zamasu, I think these Zamasu characters, they did not have 200% leader skills until this Dual Dokkan Fest. Zamasu gets to 200% leader skill from both LR Vegito Blue as well as LR Fusion Zamasu. They're both hitting it for him, right? Alright, so this is better. So we have Cold Judgment activated. And he's at 224. Remember that he does get 50% attack and defense on super attack. I mean, but that's... And then he gets 30% from his super attack effect. I mean, he's still gonna be, like, under 400k practically, right? Like, it's just not really that crazy. It's you know... yeah, it's pretty mediocre. I mean, you can get away with running him, because he is supporting at the very least, right? Like, for LR Fusion Zamasu is getting 50% support and a 10% chance to crit. So, like, that's not horrible. But Physical Zamasu, I mean, they should have... This is remember, you had the same chance to pull Zamasu as you did LR Fusion Zamasu. So, I mean, he should have had... I mean, they should have just completely changed the way he's built in many ways. I think building him around dodge is fine, but just 30% chance to dodge in most fights is trash. And not really what we're looking for, right? He should be at 70% chance to dodge. Baseline always is the way it should be. And then his intro buffs, stuff like that, should give him other stuff. Alright, so we did this. Let's go ahead and jump into a fight against a superclass enemy, and we can actually see... kind of like the abilities and stuff like that, that Zamasu will be able to get. Alright, so Zamasu's intro plays right there. Again, remember he gets an extra 50% of stats, an extra 20% chance to dodge for the rest of the battle. But then also, so remember earlier how Ki seemed like it might have been a little bit of an issue for us. Well, remember now, you know, at the start of every turn, we're getting 1 Ki and 50% attack and defense. So already, I'm sure some of these stats we're going to see from Zamasu are just going to flat out be much more impressive than what we've seen before, right? Alright, so he's at 212. Remember, so what we need to see, there's 4 different rotations we're going to want to see. He builds up at the start of each turn, right? So his stats should be quite a bit better. Again, I mean, if they had made this Zamasu just have his... There we go, there's a dodge, nice. If we had made this Zamasu just have 70% chance to dodge at the start of turn, like baseline, and then they could have just done the rest. I mean, if they wanted to do that, they could have just given him 70% chance to dodge baseline, which would have made him much better. But then, you know, against a superclass enemy, you know, he guards as part of his intro instead. I think that would be fine, right? That would make him really powerful. Because, I mean, dude, look at, like, Dr. Sho and Dr. Mew, right? Like, all the shit they do when you're going up against a Goku. I feel like Zamasu could have just gotten a little bit more to make him even more effective against superclass enemies. Alright guys, we're here on our next rotation. This will be a nice turn. We're going to have AGL Goku Black with this support. We have Physical Zamasu here, a lot of links activated. We're going to have Cold Judgment with AGL Goku Black too. Yeah, we have Cold Judgment activated, Fear and Faith, and Fierce Battle. So Zamasu's up to 325. Again, remember, he's getting 50% on super attack from his passive, and then 30% from his super attack effect. So, I mean, he is starting to look quite a bit better. And then the middle slot right here, we could get Godly Power activated as well. I do want to make sure that Zamasu... I mean, this HL Goku Black is pretty weak. He's not going to finish that Vegeta, right? Right? Yeah. Well, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're going to see what we need to see from this physical Zamasu. Yeah, dude, that HL Goku Black is so bad. Can we get an easy A for him? Like, you understand, this guy is going to be a sub easy A for LR Vegeta and Trunks. Like, that's going to happen in 50 years. Alright, he's up to 5 million for physical Zamasu. Okay. This is the second of 4 turns of his build-up. Dude, it's insane how much build-up this Zamasu has, right? Like, they're better, like, the Trunks fight, that's obviously going to happen in that, you know, Gods and Mortals event. Like, bro, like, this Trunks fight better be, like, 20 phases long if it's going to take this long for, Zamasu to build up. I mean, if the fight is long, it's going to play pretty well for some of these Goku Black characters, right? If there's a ton of phases, STR Rose could potentially get a killing blow, and then he gets quite a bit stronger. EGL Goku Black has to get hit 50 times. Goku Black and Zamasu has to get hit. Like, there's so much build-up for a lot of these, you know, extreme class Realm of Gods characters right now. Alright, so now we're on to turn 3 of 4 for physical Zamasu. This is going to be a very nice rotation, too. We've got a lot of stats up. 384 he gets up to. Okay, I mean, that's not the worst, honestly. 384? I mean, because now, it's... The thing is if we're going up against a superclass enemy, Zamasu has a 50% chance to dodge, right? Along with seemingly... most normals in the game, he probably would be able to tank at this point after supering. I mean, I don't know. Why am I coping for this unit? I mean, yo, if, like, let's pretend STR Omega is a superclass unit, and it doesn't matter, Zamasu's still getting turned into a crash test dummy by physical Omega, right? Like, or by STR Omega. So, yeah, Zamasu seems pretty shitty. I mean, I guess the support is nice, but... I think that they certainly could have made the Zamasu quite a bit better. Alright, here we go. So now Zamasu's fully built up. We are also in Infinite Zamasu's territory, his domain, as you guys can see. We're up to 391 at this point. Okay, sure. Yeah, let's just go ahead and see. Let's see the damage here. Now, remember, we're going to do a lot of additional damage in, you know, Infinite Zamasu's domain. Superclass enemies and allies take an additional 30%. I mean, it's not going to show up in Zamasu's attack stat. Oh, nice dodge right there. That dodge that we got right there, that's from the hidden potential system. Well, I guess... I mean, I don't... Because he should have 20% chance to dodge, actually, from his passive... From the intro, that should be up at all times. Then he gets 30% chance to dodge only when he supers. And then we'd also have a 27% chance to dodge from hidden potential system. I mean, once you start stacking a million different dodge chances like that, that does get pretty decent. But, I mean, there we go. There is physical Zamasu. I mean, I guess it's important, as we're going through a lot of these rotations, not to forget that Zamasu is giving us nice support. But, all in all, I would say that this guy is a huge fumble. I mean, we can't really afford villain characters to just be shitty and mid. And, unfortunately... guess what this physical Zamasu is? He's shitty and he's mid. I think I could probably hang on one more rotation. Let's just see on this next rotation. We don't necessarily have to have him attack, but we'll have Infinite Zamasu on the same rotation, which means we're going to get the extra support to Worldwide Chaos, which, you know, could be interesting to see. Again, just sort of see physical Zamasu at a little bit higher numbers. It'll be a bit higher. Alright, so let's just go ahead and finish this Vegeta off. Again, he's going to take way more damage because we're in Infinite Zamasu's territory. Alright, so we get to this rotation. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. What is physical Zamasu's defense at? Well... Shit. Alright, let's go ahead and hit this. So this will give us the defensive support, right, kicking in. And then Zamasu is at 391 right there. Okay. Sure. Well, there is physical Zamasu, right? Let me know what you guys think of this physical Zamasu. I mean, this was against a superclass enemy. with all these buffs up and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, he just doesn't... he just doesn't seem that crazy to me. I don't know. I'm not really saying, hey, we get to... Yeah, nice final flash, Vegeta. I love Infinite Zamasu. This is fun. You want to talk about fun? That is fun right there. Yeah, nice try. Oh, wait, Vegeta dodged us. What the hell? Hey! No! It's a dodge party, man. All right, what attack stat does Physical Zamasu get? 6.22. All right, so again, there is our boy Physical Zamasu, Banner Unit Extraordinaire. Nah, he sucks. All right, this is Rebellion against Divine Justice Zamasu. His leader skill is Patara or Future Saga category key 3 and 130% of stats. His super attack is the Fierce God Slicer, which raises attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn, does supreme damage to the enemy, and then lowers enemy attack. His passive skill, Cloudy T. If there's a superclass enemy at the start of turn, Zamasu will activate his intro. He gets 50% attack and defense, and then a 20% chance to dodge for the rest of the battle. Then Zamasu gets 150% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then Zamasu gets 50% attack and defense and a 30% chance to dodge when performing a super attack, which means it wouldn't be activated against, say, Omega's AoEs or something like that. Then Zamasu gets 1 ki up to a max of 4 and 50% attack and defense up to a max of 200% at the start of each turn if there is a super class enemy. Then extreme class allies get 30% attack and defense. And then he gives an additional 20% attack and defense and 10% chance to crit to extreme class allies who are also Future Saga. And then finally, he gives Future Saga category allies 2 ki for 2 turns after dodging. I'm just not a fan of a lot of what we got going on here. It is nice that he gives ki, but I feel like the ki should have just been baseline anyway. Like, that 2 ki for 2 turns after dodging an attack, that's probably more of a detriment than a positive. I would much rather just 2 ki for 1 turn on a support and we're gaming. I don't think they did good enough by this Zamasu. No way. And this is just, I mean, it feels shitty when they fumble villains. His link set is Gentlemen, Prodigies, Cold Judgment, Godly Power, Power Bestowed by God, Brutal Beatdown, Fierce Battle. Wait a minute, that's a Dokkan wiki. That's wrong. Those are not his links. His link set, what did they have wrong? It's Gentlemen. He doesn't have Gentlemen. That's what the wiki says, but he doesn't have Gentlemen. He has Prodigies, Cold Judgment, Fear and Faith, Godly Power, Power Bestowed by God, Brutal Beatdown, and Fierce Battle. That's his actual link set. And then, of course, Zamasu is at a 145% 12 ki. Alright, so that's a little bit higher. Typically, banner units are about 140, so that's fine. Although, I guess it doesn't really matter because he hits like a feather anyway, so who cares, right? I mean, doing a lot of 3 million attack stats, and he's not super effective against all types, and he's not doing anything, so yeah, whatever. Then finally, Zamasu is on a couple of different category teams here. So he's on the Patara team, a team that certainly could always use more help. Patara once was one of the most dominant teams in the game, but that was many years ago now. Then Zamasu is also on Future, which has gotten a lot of very strong additions, which of course is nice. Zamasu is also on the Realm of Gods category team, which could always use more help for sure. Zamasu is also on the Time Traveler team. I'm still waiting for Time Traveler to get a crazy team. That would be really fun. Then Zamasu is also on the Gifted Warrior category team. And then finally, Zamasu is on, Inhuman Deeds. Yeah. Inhuman Deeds would be very, very interesting, man. This is another team that would be a really interesting lead. And this is where Omega could have potentially really shined. Had he not been a GT Boss's restricted unit. But there we go. There is the physical banner unit Zamasu. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.